7 weeks ago I set off to drive the entire coast of mainland Scotland while living in my van, and the road keeps pushing north. This stretch takes me through St Andrews and along the final miles of the Fife coast.
That is incredible.
Well, here I am, folks. I've made it to St Andrews, the home of golf, but also home to one of the most vibrant seaside sauna scenes in the whole of Scotland. And this morning, I'm at Wild Scottish Sauna on the beautiful West Sands beach of St Andrews. And I'm joined by one of its owners, Jane, and a group from the local community as well. Now, I'm really interested to hear about this Nordic revolution that we're seeing everywhere, in particular in this area. But I'm even more excited to learn about how facilities and businesses like this are helping to support their local communities that they serve. So let's go for a wee session and a wee blether inside. So what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
Well, you heard my intro. I just want to learn a little bit more about, well, one, what you do as a business, and obviously this whole Nordic revolution that we seem to be sort of going through. But I also want to talk a little bit more about the sort of community aspect of it as well, and the charitable work that is done and things of that nature, and the sort of campaigns that you're backing.
You know, the success of the saunas comes from a lot of hard work, but also a desire to give these spaces and facilities to people because it makes them feel good. And we both feel really passionate about helping people feel good. Like it's just, I just get a massive buzz out of, you know, you could be hanging around the sauna, not even using it, and you're watching people and they're coming out and they've all got smiles on their faces and they're connecting and they're chatting and they're feeling amazing. And there's no alcohol involved, so it's rare to get that real buzz without being in the pub.
Yeah.
No.
You could be sweating the alcohol out right enough.
Exactly.
We've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, a lot of students at this one.
It's been a great hangover cure once.
Yeah.
I'm not for the faint-hearted.
No.
But the charity and the campaigns and different things that we do just comes from that'd be really nice to contribute to that. And because we're in a position where we're doing well, then we can give back.
Yeah.
And I think it can be hard, and especially in this industry, to be seen to be doing well isn't on brand for sauna businesses.
Yeah.
So we don't really fit that mold of sauna business owners. However, it's giving us the opportunity to give a lot more back.
Okay, got ya.
Look at your efforts in November though.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, the Movember stuff, and you guys were involved in that as well. So how did you sort of get involved with that?
So the football club have done it for the last three years, and then it kind of got passed on to the president and the vice president, which Fab's the president, I'm the vice president.
Right,
and then, being good mates, we wanted to continue it.
It started off as just daily dips, so 3 years ago. Then two boys did daily dips, and so I did it last year, and then this year, we wanted to make it a bit bigger, and so we reached out. Obviously,
you just contacted me on Instagram.
Just DM'd
Simple
you
as
guys.
that.
You're like, we're doing this again. We want to see if we could partner, do something, if we could use it then and again to kind of bring a bit more pairs of eyes to it, but also to make it a bit nicer for us rather than just going in and out of the North Sea every November. And to be honest, it was an absolutely amazing idea because since then they helped us out massively, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've been in touch ever since.
Yeah, I think we'll both say a million times over that Jane, you're awesome.
Yeah.
They were so helpful.
They're tour de force, aren't they?
Just to remind some people that are maybe watching from afar what Movember is all about. Who wants to?
It dedicates itself to men's health, so kind of prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and also very big the kind of mental health aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part that they focused on as well. We added in like a question of the day during our videos to not just have the kind of simple fundraising aspect, which I think a lot of people do, but to have a bit more, to like actually have a conversation. I think that's the kind of important part. To see how your mates are feeling and just bring that a bit more to the forefront.
Yeah, you know what, and it's such an important message, and I've talked about this on this series already as well. I suffered pretty horrifically from major depressive disorder in my late 20s, right up until my mid 30s, and I've always been quite open and honest about it on socials and things like that, because it is a subject that, you know, we need to talk more about. And back then, for me, I didn't have that sort of, like, if you spoke, you were weak, you know, and you would never tell your work or admit what was wrong and things like that. That whole sort of thing is changing now. Yeah. So that sort of work that you guys have been doing is hugely important. It really is.
Hugely important, and for men specifically, because you do find it harder than us to come together intergenerationally and have a conversation. And the pub or sport, you know, has been those places that you could share, but because the pub culture is dying off, we need something else. So these spaces like the sauna, where you can sit, you can chat, you can't have your mobile phone in here, it's just going to get too hot, it won't even work. So it's just, whether you choose to leave it or not, you know, the heat's taking that choice out for you. The phone isn't welcome in here. So it's a space that you've nothing else to do but either sit with your own thoughts or share them with a friend. And men coming together, and they enjoy the sauna just as women do, but it's a really helpful tool to open up these conversations. And I think generationally, you know, you'll be the same as my husband, similar age, and it is that, no, I keep my opinions and my feelings to myself. I'm very closed off. I wouldn't go and meet my friend for a coffee even. Like he's still in that generation where that feels strange. It would be a pint. Whereas the younger guys, they're doing fantastic work in finding more spaces that they can come together and chat.
Good.
The issue, unfortunately, of suicide and the fact that it can feel like a dirty word and not enough people are talking about it, and the numbers in young men are consistently rising, and we do all need to do more about it, and we're all responsible for stopping that incline. Yeah, absolutely. And see, places like this as well. I mean, I sort of got into doing these saunas the first time I came and met you down at your King's Barn, so a couple of years ago, and living in the van, going for cold dips. And I don't know about you, but when I go from heat to cold back to heat, I go a wee bit, not do lally, but I just blether absolute shite. I do. It just, I don't know what happens with it. It's a nervous system. Well, I'll tell you what's happening, and it is a chemical reaction in your body, and that's why you do feel relaxed and you feel more open to share, because you're getting a boost of oxytocin, a boost of serotonin, you're getting your dopamine levels naturally rise, all that cortisol is burning away, and you feel good. And it's real hormone production, natural hormone production, not fake, you know, stimulation that we're getting from our phones or from a bit of cake or all the other things that we're
starting to understand in my older age why the Finns are apparently living in the happiest country and
nation in the
all
world.
that.
It's really simple though, isn't it, as well, when you think about it, getting people together and finding a reason to do that. You're taking away a social barrier that might otherwise be there. So whether it's childcare, you mentioned the pub earlier. It's hard sometimes to be able to coordinate in the current time scale. It's, you know, 2026, it's not easy. So whether it's professional barriers, I suppose, to getting you out, whatever that might look like, it might be childcare. We will often have it where the men and the women, the husbands and wives will come and will take it in turns, and the kids are playing out there. Families that you've never met are all getting together and their kids are playing on the beach and form friendships. So that's the cross-generational aspect.
And that they were open midweek when your kids are usually in childcare or school. So, you know, it's not as socially acceptable to go and get pissed on a Wednesday lunchtime, even though I've done it many times. But, you know, these...
Shot yourself in the foot there.
These facilities are, it's welcome, and it's really, and socially acceptable, which is really important, because people do want to do things right. You know, they don't really want to do anything wrong. And the fact that this is now becoming more popular and accepted, more people are trying it. on a weekly basis.
This is the West Sands beach in St Andrews, one of the most famous stretches of sand in Scotland. Not because it has white sand and turquoise water, but because of a film. In 1981, the Oscar-winning movie Chariots of Fire opened with runners moving across this shoreline set to that now iconic score, a scene that's become part of cinematic history. But beyond the film, the West Sands also hugs the edge of the old course in St Andrews, the home of golf, where sport, tradition and landscape meet in a way few places in the world can match. But now it was time for us to brave the North Sea.
It does look quite, looks fantastic. It looks quite,
Yeah, it looks a bit choppy.
like, sinister.
I do anything for the bloody shot.
Exactly, that's it. It's like Baywatch.
Eh?
Like Baywatch. Like, here's the Baywatch bit. You have 3 points on a budget.
Fucking hell!
Turn off. Over this one. 2. Oh, we're in coming, on the brake.
Oh god!
The next one. Go.
Look at that!
I'm just, What have you done? Just red.
Just
red.
red and then blue veins everywhere.
Oh,
If you have a bruise, it's
Look at that!
Yeah.
Whoa! That is pretty crazy.
It is quite good.
That's the stimulation in blood flow that you've got. Your body's just really reset, activated.
Right, okay.
Your body's like, whoa.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'm awake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can feel my legs again now.
Just about.
It's the feet that are the worst.
Yeah.
By a million miles.
Yeah, my feet are frozen.
I like the
I
boots.
feel good now though.
Well, I don't know.
No,
It's
can't.
So you two are part of a group
Three of
then,
us.
right? Or the
Yeah.
3 of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Bob and Blether group.
The Bob and Blether.
Yeah,
I love
so
that
there's
name.
over
We've got a men's
200
group
women.
as well.
Yeah, there's a men's group as well.
How many have you?
Over 200 women in the WhatsApp
200?
group. Yeah.
Really? Right,
And we're
okay.
about to do a massive event at the Old Coast Hotel for International Women's Day,
Brilliant.
which sold out before we even released what is actually happening.
There was
on
no
the day.
hard launch, it just...
From
Wow.
last year, we did it. Well, this is our 4th year.
Yeah, this is our 4th year, and the first year started by accident with 0 health and safety. We just said, we put a
There was what,
here's
60 of us?
no, there was 100.
Was
Yeah, we put out a Just Giving link, and we said, look, donate a tenner. We're going to send the money to Dundee Women's Aid, and let's see, about 100 women turned up at
And it was-
-6 conditions.
Did you
No,
do it here?
it was -8.
Oh, it was
on
-8,
my-
100 women.
I
-8.
brought my Sage coffee machine from home because I expected about 10 people, and I just thought I'll make everyone a nice coffee.
Oh, gee.
Froze.
Yeah.
You know the
Shut
water
down. It was
capacity
-8,
tank
that's
froze. You just
Wow.
it was so cold, but it was so amazing to see these women get out of bed at 5:30 in the morning and come, because we did it at sunrise. And that's what we're doing this
Right,
year again,
okay.
start at sunrise.
But the
What-
following year, we had Wild Scottish Sauna had been set up at King's Barnes. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So the second year, we moved it to King's Barnes. We got the same amount. We got the sauna involved,
Yeah.
and then we made it like we had workshops, and it's just
Yeah,
grown
we
from
held
there.
that at Cambo House.
This year's about 200.
What did you do in
220.
Canberra?
We did it at Cambo.
I was gonna go there and see, like, you know, the snowdrops
Snowdrops,
and all
really
that.
pretty.
I'm
Gorgeous.
There's so much to see.
it's gone on my list as I'm doing this sort of road trip.
Yeah.
All these places that I maybe don't have time to see.
Yeah.
I'm
For
making
next year.
I'm making a note to go,
Yeah.
right, I'll go back there and put them in an episode another
It's
time. But
beautiful,
Cambo is one of them,
actually,
yeah.
because you can walk from Cambo House and there's gardens and the cafe, and it's really
Yeah.
lovely, and walk
Yeah.
all the way
To the
down
sauna.
the woods to the beach and along to the sauna. And it's
Brilliant.
pretty.
And there's a men's group as well, you were saying there.
Yeah.
Duke and dudes.
Duke and Dudes.
So it's a lot of our husbands. What we found was that we had such a social outlet, didn't we?
Yeah.
It just blew up for us all. Where you had this reason to get out. You weren't wearing your mum hat anymore. you were going out into the sea, you were putting your bobble hat on instead. And then we thought the men are missing out here. So it wasn't happening organically for them. So there was one brilliant guy, Andy, who wanted to do it regularly. And we just I think we forced at first our husbands to get involved.
I just said, I'm putting your name in this group, get out of the house.
And that was it. That was actually very annoying.
And also,
That's not like you.
and also, you're miserable middle-aged men, you need an outlet.
And you're jealous.
And
They were
all
definitely
happy
jealous of
because
us.
we're in the sea and the sauna all the time. But they do absolutely love it. They get together, and it's hard getting them to organise the day and all commit and actually go and attend. But when they do and they get there and they go to all the
they love it.
And Andy does a great job of rallying the troops, and it's amazing how now there are
It's grown.
there's a core member. There's always a full sauna at least, and it's a good number, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they
I think there's
talk.
probably about 50 guys in that now. It's
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
It'd be interesting.
interesting.
not.
Yeah. It's just, but these things do need to be often word of mouth. You're not selling this. It's a suggestion. It's an invitation. There's no pressure.
But
The sauna leave it with you, and then you come. The sauna makes
sauna
the cold
definitely
water
makes
easier.
it easier.
It's a nice
To
little
get the men
comfort
out.
blanket because it doesn't matter how cold you get. You're going to get warm really quickly. And you're going to feel great. Whereas it is harder at this time of year. We do it. We go into the sea without the sauna. We just go for a dip. It takes a lot longer to warm up.
Yeah.
It's still really good for your body, but
Yeah.
this is nice.
Well, Jane, thank you so much. Thanks so much
Very
for
welcome.
having me again.
Very
No, it was an
welcome.
absolute pleasure.
Always welcome.
And thanks so much for giving up your time as well to come and join us, and I really appreciate it.
was really tough, to be fair.
No, that's great though, but no, I really do appreciate it, and all the very best for the future.
Enjoy your travels.
I will do.
To see where you end up.
I know. Well, all the way around Scotland. Right, cheers again. Thanks very
a lot.
much. Well, that was an absolute joy. It really was. Really nice sauna session, a cold dip. Oh my God, it was so cold in that sea. But it was just great fun. And it was brilliant getting to meet different people, that are regular goers there. And the two young lads that are at the University of St Andrews here that did so much for the Movember campaign with Jane and Jamie at Wild Scottish Sauna. It was just a great wee chat we had. I hope you really enjoyed it as well, and it gave a bit more insight into, just how amazing a job these sort of facilities and these businesses do within the local community as well. It's all about sort of community and trying to feel good, ultimately. Giving people a place to open up, to speak, to meet people. There's so much more to it than just a sauna and a dip in the North Sea, So no, it was really, really great. And I needed it, to be honest, as well. I met friends in St Andrews at the weekend there on Saturday night, some old school pals, and it was great going out and having a few pints. And I had a busy day on Sunday yesterday, doing a lot of editing and things like that as well. So, I was feeling a bit, right, let's go again this morning, and I feel fantastic now after that. I'm raring to go for the rest of this day and the filming ahead. It's just such an invigorating experience. But I'm hungry now, so my next stop is to go to the East Sands in St Andrews. It's time to get a toastie. Well, folks, I did say that I was starving, and I've come to the Cheesy Toastie Shack in St Andrews. It is home to the best toasties in the whole of the UK, never mind Scotland. And I just happened to bump into Kate, the owner, whilst I was here as well. So, pleasure to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
I know, at last. I've been watching Kate's posts on social media for pure ages, but it's been years since I've actually been here.
Yeah, you're saying it's pre-lockdown, pre-COVID.
I don't think I've been here since it was just before, I think, maybe 2019.
Yeah.
So how long have you had this?
So this
place?
location,
Yeah.
2018 we got the keys.
Right,
we got it
okay.
open in a few months. But we've had the business where we've been on the road and at Kingsbarns Beach in a trailer since 2015.
Right, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, because that was the sort of first one. And
Yeah.
what was the sort of? Obviously, you've been really successful. I mean, there's people here queuing every single day.
Yeah.
what is it about? Like, what was the sort of, I don't know, the motivation? What gave you the idea to just absolutely pack the toasties?
Well, we just kind of thought you go to somewhere like Costa Coffee or Starbucks and you can get a toastie really easily, but they're not that impressive. We wanted ones that, you know, really are something a little bit out there, something a little bit different. So some of the fillings are not that crazy, but we always try and have them so they just look amazing. We want people to go, that is a proper toastie.
Yeah.
And also that's therefore helped us, you know, we were saying about the queues and the busyness, it's helped us with our marketing because people started taking pictures and doing the talking for us.
Yeah.
So a lot of us being so popular were people taking pictures and going, gosh, look at these massive toasties or these amazing creations of the ones that are a bit more out there.
Yeah.
And doing the speaking for us and getting the word out there.
Yeah, I know. And the thing that I really like about some of the stuff that you do as well, and it kind of matches my theme for this entire road trip, because I'm trying to buy local as I go along the way, shopping at farm shops, fishmongers, things like that, for me to, you know, cook in the van, and also visiting local businesses like yours as well. And you use a lot of local places for your ingredients and things like that. I think one of, like, your haggis was local and things like that, you know?
Yeah, we got it from JB Penman, the other day. We just sold out of it. I would have loved to do that today, but we just sold out of it. We've used St Andrew's Farmhouse cheddar in the past. We've used meat from Great Glen Charcuterie. So we used a local baker.
Was it a sauce, a sweet chili sauce?
Oh, how could I forgot? This is my favourite person in the world, Jen from Chili Bird.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't even mention her. So Jen Montgomery, I love her so much. She's from Fife.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
half Thai, half Scottish. She was a charge nurse, and a year ago she started her own chili oil business, and it is going great guns.
I know.
Every single month she's selling out, and it's genuinely amazing. It tastes amazing. The ingredients are really high quality.
Yeah.
So we'll often rotate our specials, and she's a current theme. I haven't got her on the menu today, but she was on like last week. She'll be on again in a couple of weeks.
I know. I caught up with my brother and his wife live here in St Andrews, and I caught up with them at the weekend. And Helen, she's got that stuff in her wardrobe, in like her wardrobe. She's got all that. She's got all that stuff in her cupboard, and it was her that actually mentioned it. She's like, they definitely do that down there.
We've got some in the kitchen, so it's not on the menu. So if you want to add some today to your toastie, I know you've just been in a sauna, so
we'll see.
Hot, this is gonna elevate things.
But this is just what I love. It's local businesses supporting other local businesses.
If I genuinely love another local business, it's not like I'm trying to do anyone a favour. I will shout them out all the time. And Jen, I honestly can't believe I didn't lead with Jen. I adore her. Like, honestly, her product is amazing, and she's hardworking. She's a mum. She's a wife. She's amazing at MMA. She's just like and she's hilarious, and she's fit as fuck. So a bit of a badass, basically. Yeah, she's basically a triple threat, if more than that even.
Right, well, listen, I am starving. Can we get a toastie?
You can.
That's brilliant. Come on then, let's do it. Right, so I actually got two. I'm absolutely starving. I did get their famous mac and cheese toastie. Now look at this. Look at it. Oh my God, man. It's just monstrously delicious. The seagulls are lurking, as they tend to do here. There's a little funny thing that they do here for charity as well. Talk about it in a second. Right, so this second one is called their New Yorker. And as you can imagine, pastrami, pickle, loads of cheese, etc. This is the one I got probably about 6 years ago now, maybe slightly longer. Honestly, it's just to die for. Look at that. Wow. Honestly, unbelievable. Well, like you saw, folks, they were absolutely packed. They were delicious. Kate, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so
Honestly,
welcome.
thanks so much for doing that. And I did mention the seagulls actually in the video. And you do something quite unique with the seagulls, with a supporting a charity every month, don't you?
Yeah, so a couple of summers ago, we launched this thing called Seagull Insurance because we noticed that loads of people were getting attacked by seagulls, getting their sandwiches stolen. So we would always just go and run out and replace them for free. But we started just doing this optional £1 spend where you can get your toastie replaced if it does get snatched. And instead of keeping that money and pocketing that money, we decided to, every pound that gets donated, just distribute to a different charity each month. Now, these have been nationwide ones. I picked Alzheimer's UK as the first one. Well, not the first one, one of the first ones, sorry, because I lost my mum to Alzheimer's.
Right.
But then I also have other ones that are more kind of close to home. And it's not always just strictly charities. This month, for example, we're raising money for a little baby called Imogen. Her family are based over in Tayside. She has a multitude of complications that happened during her birth, and she's now, as a result of that, having to receive extra care, which is a huge strain on the family. So yes, there is help from the NHS, but there's additional needs, and as much therapy as possible for her will give her the best chance. So we're doing that with her in mind this month. So yeah.
Brilliant. No, that's great. And again, it's local people, local communities and stuff like that as well. No, that's brilliant. So, Seagull Insurance, make sure you get it if you ever come down here to visit the Cheesy Toasty Shack in St Andrews. But thanks so much again.
Thank you for coming.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And this is the road here where you literally go across the 1st and 18th fairways of the old course. The weather has absolutely turned. I'm just going on to the golf course now, back along that road. And I've got my waterproofs on to protect myself from the elements and my cameras, more importantly. And just seen two boys teeing off, and one of them's wearing a pair of shorts. Oh God, get a game of the old course, get a pair of shorts on. I mean, that's like the type of shorts I wear, for God's sake. That's the famous R&A building there, the Royal and Ancient. Look after, basically govern golf and the 18th green. Oh, he just hit a shot. Looks decent, to be fair. But there is a famous landmark on this golf course that I want to show you. Many of you watching, especially if you like golf or just sport in general, you might well know this landmark. It's been here for over 700 years, predates the golf course, and it is one of the most photographed bridges in the world. And I'm going to go and walk across it. This small stone bridge might look modest, but in golf it's legendary. The Swilcan Bridge on the old course in St Andrews has been crossed by the greatest players in history, and right here is where Jack Nicklaus famously paused in 2005, waving goodbye in what many thought was his last final Open appearance. Well, just walking along a street called the Scores, which hugs the sort of coastline. And you see some parasailers out there on the waves. I'll see if this picks it up, I don't know if it will. Can you see them? Definitely see one anyway. Kicking about there. So we've seen one boy wearing blue short shorts on the old course. Someone else paragliding out there in the waves in this weather. And I'm bloody filming in it. Walking about the town for hours. We're all daft, I'm telling you. Now, St Andrews isn't just famous for golf. Long before the old course drew players from around the world, this town was shaping ideas, faith and power. It's a place where medieval ruins sit beside lecture halls, where cobbled streets lead you from scholarship to siege tunnels in a matter of minutes. And every time I come back here, even growing up just 9 miles away, it still feels like somewhere significant. The University of St Andrews was founded in 1413, making it Scotland's first university and the third oldest in the English-speaking world after Oxford and Cambridge. For more than 6 centuries, students have walked these same streets, through plagues, reformations, wars, enlightenment and into the modern world. The buildings feel timeless, stone quadrangles, chapel towers and archways that wouldn't look out of place in a storybook, which is probably why people often compare it to Hogwarts. But beneath the romance of old stone lies something far more powerful: continuity. The university survived religious upheaval, political change, and centuries of reform. It educated figures who would go on to shape philosophy, science, politics, and theology. And just outside the gates of St Salvator's College, there's a small, unnoticed detail on the pavement, the initials PH. They mark the spot where Patrick Hamilton was burned at the stake in 1528. Hamilton was one of the first Protestant martyrs in Scotland, executed for heresy during a time of deep religious tension. His death didn't silence reform, it accelerated it. And here in St Andrews, the sparks of the Scottish Reformation began to spread. Just a short walk from the university stands St Andrews Castle, a fortress that became a focal point of that religious conflict. Originally built in the late 12th century as a residence of the bishops of St Andrews, the castle symbolised ecclesiastical power. But during the Reformation in the 16th century, it became something else entirely: a battleground. In 1546, Protestant reformers seized the castle after assassinating Cardinal David Beaton, who had been instrumental in opposing reform. What followed was a siege, imprisonment, and eventually French intervention. Inside the castle walls today, you can still see the Bottle Dungeon, a dark, claustrophobic prison carved into the rock. You can walk through siege tunnels dug by both sides, one attempting to mine the walls, the other to intercept them underground. These aren't distant stories, they're physical spaces you can stand inside. The Reformation reshaped Scotland's religious identity, shifted political power, and altered the role of institutions like the university and cathedral. Here in St Andrews, those tensions weren't theoretical, they were lived. Right, so usually when I'm going out to St Andrews, I would stop at the Balgove Larder. It's a farm shop and butchery, essentially, and they've got like this beautiful steak barn where you sit outside and the steaks are sensational. However, my freezer is full with meat from the Salsgirth home farm, which was in episode 4 of this series. And episode 6, I went to, the one before this, I went to the Ardross farm shop just outside Ely. So my freezer's full. I just don't need any more. And I'm certainly not hungry enough for anything right now. So unfortunately I've missed that out. But if you're in or around St Andrews, I would highly recommend the Balgove Larder. The food is sensational and the steaks are to die for. They really are. They're amazing. So we're just driving through Gar Bridge just now. and that's home to the Eden Mill Distillery. I think it started off as gin. Certainly that was the first thing I remember. They were selling a lot of gin, Eden Mill gins, but they're doing whiskey now and stuff like that as well, and I've tasted it. I've tasted a couple of them, they're really good. And the next wee sort of village that we go through is a place called Lookers. And Lookers, when I was growing up, it was home to the RAF, the Royal Air Force. And they used to do an air show every year. We used to go up, when we were teenagers, used to go up sort of Balmerino Hill towards the old quarries and watch them from there. It was brilliant, Spitfires and everything, it was great. And now it's the army that's in here in the barracks. I've been for a number of years now. The RAF moved up to Lossiemouth. Now, one other place I was going to stop actually is down that way. It's called Tentsmuir Forest, and there's a beautiful beach there. It's called Kinshoddy Beach. It's really, really lovely, but again, my plan was just to go up and throw the drone in the air and put some music to it and stuff like that, but I can't do that today. I'm going to have to drive past, and when you're in Tentsmuir Forest, there's a crepe shack in there, and the crepes are unbelievable. They're so good. It's closed just now anyway, so I wouldn't have been able to get one. I definitely would have. I would have at least gone for that, but it is closed unfortunately. It's a beautiful beach, Kinshoddy, and I would have loved to have showcased it, but just not possible unfortunately. I do have a bit of a busy schedule planned over the next couple of days, and I've actually got meetings and stuff booked with people from local businesses over the next week. I'm meeting up with a journalist from DC Thomson to do a piece for Scots Magazine that I'm writing, and I'm also doing a bit of an interview for their online article called Gallivant. So I'm meeting with them, and so I've got different sort of meetings. I have to squeeze in as much as I can the filming in between, so by the time I get to where I'm meeting them, I'm already in that area. It's just growing arms and legs as we go, which is great, I enjoy it. And I've never written an article for a publisher before, which is going to be nice. Typically the rain has started, but thankfully the flow's really high out of there, so it'll only take a few minutes. I had about 10 litres left of water, and I've got 125 litres, so 115 litres to fill up. That's been about, I don't know, a minute and a half. It's already more than halfway up. Well, it's pretty blustery here. The rain's well and truly picked up. I just hope I'm going to be okay parking here, because the wind is blowing right at the front of the van, and when that tide comes in with the Tay, you can see the water as I was parking up. I hope it's going to be okay. I don't get flooded, as long as it doesn't rain crazy heavy tonight. But it's definitely going to be a bit shaky, I reckon. But I'm hungry now, and I just went to the co-op in Tayport and got myself, I haven't been in the mood for a pizza. Now obviously I don't have an oven, but I do have my Omnia oven. And it's called the Swedish Omnia oven. And that's it there. I've got a little thermostat on the top as well. I've had this since I moved into the van, and it's basically like a little oven that's sort of donut shaped, if you like. It's just the way that it heats, but you can use it on a hob and it basically turns everything into an oven. It's pretty good. And again, as always, if you go into the description of this video, I've got a link to my Amazon storefront, and that is in the Vanlife Essentials one. I've got one for Vanlife Essentials, one for filming equipment. And they're really, really handy, but I would highly recommend you get the non-stick pan on the inside. I had the normal one before, and I used to use the silicone sort of inserts that they've got, but they actually ended up melting. I don't know why. It was maybe something I had in it. I don't know. Shouldn't really do that. But the non-stick is definitely the way to go. It's awesome. I'm just going to give it a little clean first and then get this pizza. Now obviously I can't put a full pizza in that, so I have to cut it up into small pieces and then lay it inside the little Omnia oven itself. And I do have some olives and anchovies, and they always go on a pizza if I'm having it. Nice and simple, no fancy cooking, just some comfort food. And when I was in the co-op, it just came over me. I went, oh, pizza. I had a pizza for ages, so it's definitely pizza night. And then I'm going to get the projector on, and that'll be me for the day. And tomorrow we're going to set off a little bit further along the coast and head towards the city of Perth. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning people, and look at that, blue skies, blue skies. Don't get me wrong, it's it's pretty cold. It's only just above freezing. There are sort of ice warnings for the roads and that today, but it is lovely. So I'm happy today, and I'm gonna head further along the coast. Just gonna go through a little village called Newport, or Newport on Tay if you want the official title. It's a nice wee place actually. There's a nice little gallery there and some nice shops and some places to get some food and things like that. It's a nice wee place. I've got quite a lot of guys from Newport because growing up they went to the school in St Andrews called Madras, and they were like my school's enemy, Belbaxter and Cooper. So we used to play football against them and rugby and all that kind of stuff. Well, I played football. But they're all really, really nice guys. My best pal, Ben, is one of them. And it's quite nice actually, because there's a whole group of guys there that they've remained friends all this time, some from primary school and stuff, and it's very similar to a friends group that I have that all went to school together at Belbaxter. And we get together and go for like a golf trip once a year or every couple of years. We maybe go away to Scotland games with the Tartan Army, or just simply have a meal around Christmas time and all get together and spend a bit of time with each other, or a golf day out, that type of thing. it's quite nice. I feel quite fortunate that I've got a group of friends like that. And over that side of the Tay, we've got Dundee over the Tay Rail Bridge. And I'm not going to be crossing the bridge. I'm going to be going along the coast through Newport, and my first stop today is Wormit Bay. And it's a place that I used to spend quite a lot of time at when I was a child, visiting my grandparents, going fishing and things like that. And it's right next to the famous Tay Rail Bridge, which has quite a tragic story, which I'm going to do my best to tell. From here in Wormit Bay, you're looking across the River Tay towards Dundee, linked by what was once one of the greatest engineering achievements of its time. The Tay Rail Bridge opened in 1878, and at the time it was the longest railway bridge in the world. Stretching nearly 2 miles across the estuary, it was a bold symbol of Victorian confidence and progress, connecting Fife to Dundee and beyond. But just over a year later, on the night of the 28th of December 1879, disaster struck. During a violent storm, with winds reported to be hurricane force, a train carrying passengers from Wormit to Dundee was crossing the bridge. As it reached the central high girders, the structure failed. The bridge collapsed into the Tay, taking the train and its passengers with it. 59 people lost their lives. There were no survivors. Investigations later concluded that a combination of structural weakness and extreme weather contributed to the failure, shaking public confidence in engineering standards of the time. The bridge was later rebuilt, stronger and slightly upstream from the original line, and it still carries trains today. But as you look out across the Tay, it's impossible not to think about that winter night when progress met its limits. The tragedy changed how engineers approached design and safety, ensuring that what followed would be stronger, more resilient, and built to last. That really was a tragic event. And it's funny, you know, when I was a kid, I would look out my gran and granddad's living room window, and you got that view, you got the view of the Tay and the rail bridge in Dundee in the distance. And I used to look at those foundations, those sort of stumps that you see sticking out, and that was how I knew if the tide was in or not, because if they were submerged or almost submerged or it was quite high up, I knew where the tide was to go down to that bay and go fishing. And then when you get older you realise what they actually signify. The next stop is about 10 minutes away in a tiny little place called Balmerino. Tucked quietly along the banks of the River Tay are the ruins of Balmerino Abbey, a place founded in 1229 by Queen Ermengarde, widow of William the Lion. It became a Cistercian monastery, home to monks who lived disciplined, contemplative lives shaped by prayer, agriculture, and simplicity. For centuries, this was more than a place of worship. It was a working religious settlement, deeply tied to the rhythms of the land around it. Like so many monastic sites, the Reformation in 1560 marked its decline. The abbey was abandoned, its stones quarried, and its presence slowly faded from daily life. Today it's cared for by the National Trust for Scotland, but time and nature have done their work here too. Ivy creeps across old walls, trees rise through former cloisters, and the ancient sweet chestnut beside the abbey, one of the oldest in Scotland, still watches over it all. Balmerino feels peaceful now, almost hidden. It's not a place of grandeur, but of quiet. It's a reminder that not every historical site was built for power. Some were built simply for devotion. Well, that was great. And I've not been there since I was a kid, so I don't really remember it. But I just love old ruins like that, when they're sort of reclaimed by nature over many, many years. And we're in winter, as you can see there was frost on the grass. You can imagine what that must look like in summer, with all the foliage surrounding it and on its walls. I'm just going to continue along this road through a town called Newborough and onto a wee place called Abernethy. And there's a small museum there that I've not seen, and you can get the key from the museum to actually climb up the Abernethy Round Tower. I've never been to either, but I spotted it on the map on the way round this coastal sort of section, if you like. And on a day like today, I think the view I'm going to get from the top of that round tower is going to be quite spectacular. So that's where I'm heading to next. I always feel quite nostalgic when I drive through Newborough, actually, because I spent quite a lot of my teenage years here. There's quite a few lads from Newborough that went to my school, and I played football with them all. I actually played for Newborough, you know, like under 15s or whatever for a season. They were good days. And a good bunch of lads as well. Toaster, Eggy, Gratz, the late Gratz, Basher, Gammy, Big Jamie Smith, Ross Macon, Thomas Lenny, what was his name now? Lee Martin, and Dale, the keeper. God, aye. Reminiscing now. They were good days. Well, I've made it to the museum here, but unfortunately it's closed. It's open 1 till 4, Wednesday to Sunday, but it's only May till September. I did check on Google beforehand, but Google said it was open. They didn't have to specify a season, so I'm not going to be able to get the key and go up the tower, unfortunately. I'm going to have a wander about and have a look at the tower anyway, because it looks like a bonny wee place. Abernethy may look like a quiet Perthshire village today, but more than 1,000 years ago it was an important seat of power within the Pictish kingdom. Before Scotland was Scotland, this was a royal and religious centre, a place where early kings gathered and authority was established. In 1072 it was here that Malcolm III of Scotland met William the Conqueror, a meeting that reshaped the balance of power between Scotland and England. And rising above the village is the Abernethy Round Tower, built in the 11th or early 12th century, one of only 2 surviving Irish-style round towers in Scotland, the other in Brecon, and it was likely constructed as both a bell tower and a place of refuge during times of unrest. This small village feels modest now, but it once stood at the centre of events that shaped a nation. Well, I did just stop by my usual Esso garage next to the park there to go and top up my LPG for my cooker, but they've no gas at the moment. I wanted to get that done here for this next leg of the journey along the Tayside coast, Perth onto Dundee and beyond up towards Aberdeen, but there's none, so I'm hoping that the place in Dundee that I occasionally have gone to have gas. Otherwise I'm struggling a bit. I might need to take a bit of a detour to find an LPG pump. There are garages with it here, but they're not prevalent. It's not like France or Switzerland or anywhere like that where they've got LPG pretty much everywhere. It's not like that here, unfortunately. And you can get Calor gas bottles and stuff like that, but that's not what I use. I fill up my gas from my cooker on the outside of the van, like you would with a diesel or petrol pump. I should have enough to last me anyway, I mean, it has been about 5 weeks now, and my gas will usually last around about 6, depending on how much I'm cooking with it. I've not cooked with it every night though, to be fair, but I have cooked a couple of things that require the gas to be on for a long period of time. So I should have enough to last me another week or so anyway, and I'll take it from there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a wee stop at the Tyzo out at Inveralmond Industrial Estate. I need to get myself a big thick pair of gloves, because I am now over the next month going to be making my way north, and the weather's going to be very different where I'm going up the Highlands, and I want to get some hikes in. I do have a pair of alpine gloves I've been using for a couple of years, but I just find when I'm on the mountain and my hands are cold, they swell up quite a bit, and I find them quite difficult to get on. In day to day when it's cold, I've just got these wee thin Montane gloves with the sort of grips, and they're handy because they've got the pads on the tips of the fingers, so I can still use my camera and the touch screen on my phone and stuff for taking pictures and things like that. They're quite good. But they're just great for wind chill, just general everyday gloves. I would quite like a nice big pair of gloves for the mountains that I can keep them on underneath just for that extra warmth. Because on this road trip I am planning to do some winter hiking as well, especially when I get to Torridon. And it's more mountaineering in the winter and hiking in Scotland. Our mountains aren't tall, but the weather can shift so dramatically and so quickly. So you have to be prepared with the right clothing, you know, crampons for snow, microspikes for ice, and, you know, an ice axe and the whole lot, really. So that is my plan. And I thought, well, I may as well stop here now and just get a nice big pair of alpine gloves for that. And they'll last me years as well. Oh, that actually comes with lining gloves as well. That's handy. Well folks, I got those gloves and they feel super comfortable. Sort of Gore-Tex plus warm technology. There's like a warm heat pocket inside them and things like that. And they come with the liner gloves as well. And they're nice and big. So whether I use those lining gloves, which have got a similar sort of grip design on them as my Montane ones, but I'll be able to use either. They're super warm, waterproof. 99 quid they were, but I got them for 79 because there's a 20% off sort of sale at the moment, which is grand. And that's me. I'm just away to go and get parked up now. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode as we travelled from St Andrews to Perth, finishing off the Fife coast. Have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. Like and subscribe for more van life adventures.